Okay. So yeah, welcome everyone. Today we are going to start on entrepreneurial venture planning (EVP). So this is a capstone course where we will be using our knowledge and expertise that we have gained from the previous courses. So about this course, entrepreneurial venture planning. Almost everyone who would be doing MBA, there would be two options they would end up, or anyone else for that matter, not just about MBA students. Either you will end up working in an organization or you will start your own business, right? Those are the two options that we people have. Okay. Now, obviously, for those people who would want to start their own organization, this course is very helpful, entrepreneurial venture planning, wherein you will get to understand what is the thought process that you have to undergo when you have to start your own enterprise, your own company or your own organization. Now, even for those people who would be working in organization, those people who do not intend to start their own venture, or even those people who, even though if they have an intention, they would like to work for an organization for some time. So all these people also would immensely benefit from this course, because it gives you a very good idea about how your organization or the company that you will be working for, or you're currently working for, is operating. At times what happens is that the failure of the organization is because people working in the organization is not aware, or is not able to understand the way the organization operates, the why, how and what of the organization. Why do we take such decisions? When do we take such decisions? How do we arrive at these decisions? When I take a decision, how does it impact other departments or other employees? So how do you take decisions which would take into consideration the different aspects of different departments within the organization? So these are all the challenges that you will face. Even if you are not running your own organization, if you are working for an enterprise, you will be faced with such challenges. And as a management executive, as a person who has completed MBA, from whom the industry and uh, the society at large expects them to be coming up with solutions for such problems. So you are placed in a position where you'll have to come up, you cannot come up with trial and error to see what works, what does not work. You're expected to find answers to those questions which the organization faces, not just to the questions that the individuals faces. So you need to think about all these aspects when you answer those questions, when you come up with solutions. So that is the whole objective, or the ultimate aim of this course, the entrepreneurial venture planning. So you guys are you guys able to see the screen, the learning objectives? So I just was running through the PPT, so just want to ensure that the movement of slides you're able to see that, because I had paused the slide sometime back. So are you guys able to see the second screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Thanks, Aditya, for confirming. So basically, what we have to learn here is thinking holistically about a complete business idea. So you know when we talk about a new business idea, about running a new company, or within the organization, when you're coming up with a new idea to be implemented within your department. So in all these things, you will have to end up applying all your learning till now. So let me just understand what all courses you're done till now. Can you just explain, one of you guys, just explain which all courses you have done till now? maybe you guys can put in the chat which all courses have been completed till now. So just put in your chat till now in your PGPM program with the Sunstone, which all courses have been done. Yeah, in the first year. Vineet, I think you too can contribute on what all courses you have done, like finance, accounting, which all have been done. Okay, yeah, good, Aditya. So basically, what I understand is that, yeah, marketing management, yeah, that's good. Then statistics, yeah, great. So basically, what is happening is that you guys would have gone through different courses, and in each course, yeah, economics, yeah, that's a good one. That's very important, economics one. So you would have gone through all these courses, and at an individual course level, you will be dealing with one aspect of running the organization. Now it's time that you stitch together all these different aspects and leverage it to implement a idea or maybe create your own organization. So that's when only when you apply all these concepts would you get benefit for that. Okay. When you had done a course on economics, all you were concerned was on the economics stuff, like how do you come up with the comparative advantage, what are the concepts that people have built till now, what do you mean by economies of scale. So all these concepts you learned, these are like theory, undergoing theory. And in finance you would have gone through a lot of new terminologies. Finance and accounting, you would have gone through a lot of new terminologies, like cash reserve ratio. You would have understood what is assets and liabilities and how to prepare a balance sheet and how to understand the health, the financial health of a company by looking at these finance reports like P&L statement, balance sheet, income statement, etc. So these are like, if you look at human body, we can measure different parameters like cholesterol, blood pressure, etc., and say whether the body is healthy or not. So just by looking at a human being, you can never say whether the person is healthy or not. But by looking at these health parameters, you can say whether everything is right. If things are not right, where it is going wrong. Similar to that, you have all these finance concepts, all these lot of concepts and lot of numbers, lot of statements based on which you can understand whether the business is running properly or not. So that was on the finance side. Then you would have done some courses on some organization structure, how organizations are structured, how different departments work together, how the line of control works in the organization. Then you would have, as you said, marketing management. So how do you go to a new market? How do you approach a new market? When you approach a new market, what all things you need to consider, and how do you understand the market? Which sort of product or service does the market wants? Or rather in an existing market, how do you improve your position? How do you improve your market share in an existing market? So these are all the marketing concepts that you would have learned. Now, when you think about running your own organization, when you think about coming up with an idea and implementing that idea into a tangible organization where there is a real revenue, real employees. It's not just an idea. An idea is just an idea as long as it's within your mind and when you discuss with people. That's just an idea. But when you change that idea or when you put effort to realize that idea, into a concrete organization, what happens is that you have real people, you have employees, you have customers, you have vendors, you deal with all these people, and then you create value. What you do is that you create value and deliver value to your customer and make money from that. And there has to be a margin. That is your the value that you create and the money that you get from your customers should be higher than the cost involved for you, and that's how you make profits, right? So an idea is just an idea as long as it remains in your mind. You have to convert that idea into a working business model. So that's what this course is all about. You have to use all the concepts that you have learned till now. You have to weave together or stitch together all these concepts in such a way that each department works efficiently. Your money is deployed efficiently into the right right areas within your organization. The resource allocation is right, and you're able to do the right amount of marketing. You're able to channel your marketing energies into the right direction so that you get results. You will be building up the sales, and you'll be having a mechanism of building the sales model and monitoring that sales, and the way you manage the day-to-day operations of your organization, the way you understand the finance, you monitor the finance of your organization so that you can make changes to your speed and direction of the organization as per the financial outcomes. So these are things that you'll have to go through in this course. And another very important point is that understanding what is a venture investable business. Now, what do you mean by a venture investable business? So, there are different ways of running business. Whatever things that you learn in MBA, there will be different ways. Apart from what you learned here, there will be different ways of running a business. Now, generally, what we can say is that people start with their own money to run the business, and some businesses they just continue in that way. They grow organically. But the big businesses that we see today, any big business that you see, whether it's software, technology, telecom, real estate, media, entertainment, whatever business that you want to take, you can take any example. But any big business in any of these industries are not just born out of their own money, or it is not just organic expansion. What happens is that beyond a particular level, people look for venture capital outside the company. They look for diluting their equity and raising money from outside and use that money to expand fast, to grow faster. So that's how big businesses are made. So what we are discussing is not about boutique business. What do you mean by boutique business? It's like you set up a shop and you serve a limited number of customers in a constrained geography. You set up a shop in Bangalore, that's boutique business. One shop in one particular area in Bangalore. But you set up a model, say, let's take an example of running a restaurant. You just set up one, say, seafood restaurant. Yeah, Aditya.
Like McDonald's or
Yeah, exactly. That's where I am coming to. Correct. So basically, if I am setting up one small restaurant in Bangalore, that's boutique business. But when you talk about something like McDonald's, where you have huge number of restaurants as a chain, that is big business. So that's what we are talking about. That's a very good point, Aditya. So what we are discussing here is about big businesses like McDonald's, Pizza Hut, and all. How do you start such businesses? Obviously, you cannot start a business with 1,000 restaurants or 2,000 restaurants in day one. You obviously start with just one or two restaurants and then you scale up. So the point is, how do you scale up? You started one restaurant, it is running profitable, then you have to tweak the model in such a way that it is easily replicable across across the state or across the country or across the globe in the case of McDonald's. So that's when you need this venture capital. That's when you have to go to a venture capitalist and convey to him or impress him that you have you have a proven business model, you have a way of making money, and based on this, given a particular investment, you can multiply that investment in this particular time period. It's as simple as that. So that is venture investable business. So you just start one shop and say that I am going to continue with this one particular shop for the next 10 years. No VC will invest in you. So you don't say that it's a venture investable business. It's kind of a boutique business. You are serving only a limited set of customers, a limited geography.
It's about take business. Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, go on.
So can you write it down in chat, the word you are explaining about take business, right?
Which business? I didn't get you. Boutique, huh?
Nee, sir, about take business you said, na, like if we are setting a shop, and what do we call that business?
Boutique businesses.
Sir, can you write it down? I'm
Yeah.
not able to understand.
Yeah. So in EVP course, we will be putting effort on ideas which are big, which has got the potential of making it big. Okay. Okay. So now some more details into this code problem. Like what is the problem statement? Now, as a part of course, you cannot start your business as such. What we will be discussing and reviewing would be your business plan. Okay. So the deliverable for this course, for this this course will be for 4 weeks, and we will be having sessions. Formal sessions would be in the first week and the second week, where we will learn about different concepts of planning. Okay, and the final deliverable would be a PPT and substantiated by maybe Excel sheets or Word documents with the data. All these documents should convey the business plan for a new venture, and it should be India centric. It should be something within India. Okay. So the final deliverable would be a business plan. It should be a PPT containing the high level business plan, and it should be supplemented with Excel sheets and maybe Word documents with all the data. Okay. So how a business plan would look like, you will get a complete idea by the end of the second class, that is next Sunday. End of day, we will be getting the complete idea. Till then, with this class, we will be putting a foundation for the course. We will look at how ideas are generated, what kind of ideas do we need to go behind, how to think about these ideas, and how to form a group, and within the group, how to allocate different tasks. What are the different aspects of starting and running a company that we need to think about, and how to list out these aspects and segregate the task or separate the task within your group. So those are things that we'll be covering today. And who is the target? Once you make the business plan, who are you making this business plan for? You're actually making this business plan to present it in front of early stage investor. So there is a target, the early stage investor. So I would be behaving like an early stage investor. I'd be talking to you as though I have money to invest in your businesses. So the score would be like if I would like to invest in your business or not. Based on that, the scoring would be. So the highest score would be for businesses where I would feel that it is worthwhile for me to put my money and the lowest scoring would be those businesses where I would say that I cannot put money in this business because I don't have trust on the plan presented. So that is a scoring. When you say early stage investor, yeah, angel investor, correct. That's the exact term. Angel investment is the terminology for that. Because there's a difference between different kinds of investors, which we will go through in the second session. So for your understanding right now, angel investors are nothing but people who are ready to put money based on an idea and plan and maybe some low level traction. Those are angel investors. So they look at your profile, they look at the data that you present, they look at the plan, verify the plan, and if you have got a working prototype, so you're talking about McDonald's of 1,000 restaurants and you already started with one restaurant, that's a prototype. So if you have those kind of stuff, that's where angel investors come in. Later stage, you have the VCs and private equities, etc., which we'll be discussing in the next class to completely understand the investment ecosystem. Then another thing is choosing your business domain. So there are different business domain. Again, we were talking about India-centric businesses. Now, the popular domains that we have are internet-based businesses. Say, for example, you have e-commerce businesses like Flipkart, marketplaces, or you have other e-commerce like housejoy.in, where you get all the plumbing, electrical, all this household works being aggregated. All the uh, uh, plumbers, electricians, carpenters, all these guys are listed out in housejoy.in, and you can get them. So it's kind of aggregator. So these are the internet-based businesses which are run on internet. Businesses which exist because you have internet, you have a presence in internet, and you are connecting two sides. You're connecting maybe goods manufacturer with sellers, or you're connecting sellers with buyers like Flipkart, a marketplace, or you're connecting service providers with service consumers like HouseJoy. So these are internet-based businesses. Then you have mobile-based businesses. Say, for example, if you're building a tracking system where you can track your family members or your friends to make sure that they're secure. So all such businesses which are built on mobile apps. Just because you have a mobile app, it won't become mobile-based businesses. Businesses like tracking systems, messaging systems like WhatsApp. So these are mobile-based businesses. Then you have healthcare. It's like huge area over there. It can be the traditional healthcare where you provide the healthcare services, or it can be an aggregator where you list down all the different hospitals, doctors, connect them together. A lot of different ideas over there also. Then education, examples like Vedantu or Tutor Vista. All these guys, what they do is that they connect the students and teachers and make money out of that. So maybe in education you can do something, or cloud-based enterprise software. This is a huge area, cloud-based enterprise software, wherein you provide some service on software as a service like Google Docs or Zoho CRM, Salesforce CRM. So these are different cloud-based enterprise software. Or it can be any domain that you want. These are just some of the domains that we have listed which are popular these days, which investors, that is angel investors and VCs, are interested these days. These are the hot domains that we have. Or it can be any other domain, like you have all this new stuff coming up like IoT, Internet of Things. Or it can be cognitive, where you build human-like intelligence in computers. It can be high-tech like that, blockchain, it can be anything. Or it can even be a traditional business which you are turning it upside down. Say, for example, again, the food business. You can think about something like McDonald's, but which is more healthy. There are a lot of concerns about all these food chains, McDonald's, Pizza Hut, KFC, you name it. People have got a lot of concerns against them with respect to the health effects due to the preservatives that they use, the kind of stuff that they use, the artificial flavors that they use. There are a lot of health concerns. So how about starting a health food chain, something like that, something which will be picked up by the customer. So what you have to think about is that you need to brainstorm on these ideas. Which idea? It should be something really new. It can be something which someone has already thought about and started but would have failed due to some reason. It can be an increment to an existing working business. Like when you talk about cloud-based enterprise software, people come up with something which is existing and they improve upon and they give it in a different way. One good example is Google Docs. Google Docs is a cloud-based enterprise software. But before Google Docs came, Microsoft was already doing all those stuff. Like Microsoft has got all this MS Office package, PPT, Word, and Microsoft Outlook email. So all these are existing stuff, but it was all on-premise. So what happens is that if I am running a company, I need to pay Microsoft a license fee, get the license and install this software on my computer. That's how it worked. Now Google, what they provided is they provided the same functionality in a completely different way. Instead of giving the software in CD and installing it in people's laptop, Google provided all the software what Microsoft is providing through internet. They hosted all the software in a server and they said that you don't need to install anything. You just log on to Google Docs and you will be able to use everything. So this is a different thing. So what they did over there was they did not come up with a new idea. There was an existing idea of office document management and email management. They took it to a different level. What they did was they went the internet route. They said that you don't need to install anything on your machine, on your laptop, on your computer. You just need to access the servers and start using it. And the ultimate thing was pay as you use. You use it for 1 month, you pay for 1 month. You don't use it, you don't pay. So those are the things that Google did, and it became a competitor for Microsoft Office. So the point I'm saying is that you can come up with different ideas. It can be completely new idea or it can be an improvement of an existing idea. Okay. Now, the final thing, pick a business which is not very small. Clear potential of achieving at least rupees 50 crores in annual revenue in 5 years. Now, this was one question, which was asked to the chief product officer of LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a professional network. You guys already have a LinkedIn account, right? I think you guys have already
Yes, sir.
created. Yeah, great. So
Yes, sir.
yeah, good. So this was a question asked to the LinkedIn. I think the CPO of LinkedIn, the chief product officer. Like LinkedIn is for professionals. In the future, would we have LinkedIn for certain kind of professionals, say doctors or engineers, specific LinkedIn? So the comment he said that is that you can even have a social network for a. He was a Gujarati, so what he was saying is that you can even have a social network for Gujarati people staying in California, aged between 30 and 40, something like that. Very specific. You can even do that. You can build that. But the problem is that it is not investable business. You are building something which is very narrow for a very narrow group of people. What happens over there is that your market is getting smaller. It will be a very small market. So it will get into something like boutique businesses. So for that we have put a limit. We have put a minimum limit. That is the businesses, the ideas that you pick up. You need to have a confidence that with the idea, with proper planning and execution, you should be able to get an annual revenue of 50 crores, that is 50 crores per year, within 5 years. So that is the way you should be having a plan. So if you come up with very niche kind of ideas, it is going to be shot down. We need ideas which has got the potential of at least making 50 crores per year annual revenue. That is 50 crores per year revenue within the 5 years of operation. So in the fifth year, you should be able to make 50 crores.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, Aditya, yeah, tell me.
Yeah, 50 crore revenue per year, or for making it for consecutive 5 years, or in 5 years we have to make 50 crore revenue.
No, it is not uh, 50 crore in 5 years. It is like in after 5 years, your yearly revenue should be 50 crores. So in the fifth
Okay.
year, you should be getting a revenue of 50 crores. Fifth year alone. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is what you will have to do. Identify opportunity in Indian landscape. Articulate your business plan, explaining how you will capture it. Now this point, articulation, that is the most important thing, and that is one thing which lacks between I would say daydreamers and executioners. The articulation part. Everyone has got a dream, or everyone has got beautiful ideas. I have not seen a single human being who does not have a great idea. Everyone has got some at least 10 great ideas. Now, what is the difference? What is the difference between all these people? Not everyone becomes successful, right? Less than 1% of the whole population becomes really successful in starting their own venture. What is the difference? The difference is in articulating, breaking down your idea into executable pieces, into a plan. When you say some great idea, it doesn't look executable. It's just a great idea. It's good on paper. That's all. You won't have the confidence to say that. You yourself will not have the confidence to say that it will be successful. So a statement like this, you won't be able to make. That is, say 50 crores in the fifth year of operation, or 100 crores in the fifth year of operation. You won't be able to say that. Because the next question would be, how do you make that revenue? So that is very important, articulating your business plan. So it will be something like one example that we have run through for other students was about one idea which came out, one business idea which came out in some previous session. It was about uh, home delivery of breakfast. Okay. I mean, it's a good idea, right? Home delivery of breakfast, especially in big cities in India where both husband and wife are working. It's difficult for them to prepare breakfast in the morning. Usually they'll be having lunch from the office cafeteria, but the breakfast is a problem. You have to wake up early, or you'll have to plan and make it. So it's a good idea, home delivery of breakfast. So you get up in the morning and order your breakfast in the mobile app or web app. You'll get it delivered in 30 minutes or 40 minutes, just like you get pizzas delivered to your home. So it's a good idea. Now, how do you put this across? You also say that, okay, we'll make, say, 100 crores in the fifth year. But how do you make it? How do you get money? How will you set up? How will you approach your market? Which is the segment of the market that you will target? You'll have to talk in those lines. You have to say that, okay, we are targeting people between 25 to 40 years of age, working professionals, where both husband and wife are working. Because if the wife is not working, then the probability of ordering breakfast online would be lesser. So you have to come up with all these things and then say that, hey, we'll be targeting people between 25 to 40 in these cities, and then you'll have to say that these kind of menu are not available. So these kind of menu are not available in hotels. So you will be providing those menus. Then we'll be talking about healthy breakfast, and then you'll talk about your unit economics, how things work, what would be your initial cost, how much money you would have to spend on acquiring customers. So that when you draw all these things, your business plan is lesser than a dream and looks more like a plan, an executable plan. That's the difference. Otherwise, any idea would look like a dream. It's good to have, but you don't know how to do it. But when you have an actual business plan developed, when you articulate through your idea and produce a executable plan, it looks like a proper plan and you yourself are confident of executing it. So that is one very important thing that you have to develop. And then the final thing is when you have to present, one important thing is this is not individual. You will be separated into groups. So I'll let you know how to do that. You'll have to separate into groups and each group will have to make the presentation. So each group will give the PPT and present it and say that this is the money required for venture, and given this money, this is the returns that they will be promising. Okay, so that is about presenting your plan as a group. And when you present the plan, you'll have Q&A and discussion. That is, I'll be asking questions to you, plus other group members can cross-examine you, question your data. You cannot and you should not cook up data. You need to have data which is valid. So if you cannot just say that there are 50 lakh 50 lakh working professionals in Bangalore. You need to give the data for that, because the complete population of Bangalore is only 1 crore, and you need to give the right data and point to the right statistics and say that this is the these are the data points that you are using. Okay. Okay, now how do you set up the group? Yeah, I missed out this chat. We need, what is this about? We have to mention time also. So is it in the business plan, like in the business plan, like in the first 3 months you'll be doing this, next 3 months, is that the timeline you were mentioning?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, Vinit.
Hello,
Yeah.
sir. Sir,
Yeah,
can you
go
hear
on.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sir, actually, time means is there should be a certain period for business as a 20 year, 10 year, or we can do randomly without any boundation of time.
Okay, okay, got it. Yeah, so typically what we would prefer is anywhere between 18 to 36 months. That is 1.5 to 3 years.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So this is the kind of plan that investors usually look for. Obviously, you cannot plan much ahead, like 5 years, 10 years, things are going to change. We never know. But 18 months to
Sir,
30
can we?
months is the best
Yes,
time.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes. Sir, can we fix a 6 month time or 8 month?
No, a minimum of 18 months is required. You need to tell
Okay.
me how you will operate for 18 months.
Yes, sir. I
So,
got it.
at what point you need investment? So one example I can say about this breakfast delivery was that they prepared a plan, I think, for 2 years, and they said that they would
Yes.
need this much amount of funding. I think it was around 50 lakhs funding they want in the first 6 months. So they will start the company with their own money. At the end of 6 months, they would need 50 lakhs. And the end of 1.5 years, they would need 1 crore. And then they drew a picture on how much returns they will be delivering at that time. Okay.
Okay.
And it is in the plan, it is better to have quarter to quarter projection. In the sense, you need to tell, say you are preparing a plan for 18 months. That is 6 quarters. You are preparing plan for 6 quarters. So each quarter you'll have to tell how many new customers you'll be acquiring, how many existing customers are there, what your revenue would be, so that we can see quarter to quarter how much you would grow. So you cannot say that day one you don't have any customer and end of 18 months you have say 10,000 customers. That is not correct. That articulation is not there. It is like a dream. So what you have to say is that day one you have 0 customers, end of 3 months you'll be having say 20 customers, and 3 months to 6 months, from 20 you'll move to say 100 customers, like that. So that becomes more achievable and it becomes more practical. And when you do that, believe me, lot of complexities will come out. Lot of things that you thought were easy, lot of dirty work would come out of that. That's when you'll understand that when you target a small section like 20 people, it's easy to get. But when you go from 20 to 100, these are the challenges that you'll face. When you go from 100 to say 1000, another set of challenges would come. So that is the whole point of this exercise. So shall we go ahead? Now, these are group activities, right? Now we need to divide. I mean, one is that the whole class has to be divided into multiple groups, say 3, 4 or 5 groups. Each group, I would say, you need to have a minimum of 4 people. Why? Because we are uh, segregating, we are separating 4, we are carving out 4 separate areas in EVP. That is in the plan, in bringing up the plan. Okay. These areas that we have listed down is customer acquisition and other business development activities. Then second one is financial planning. Third is supplier and vendor management. Fourth is operations and technology management. Now these are high level 4 areas that we have listed down, which is more or like generic for any idea, any industry. So just think like this: whenever you run a business, how do you create different departments? You know, how do you segregate? Everything cannot be done by one person, right? Or if you have a group, that group should not be going behind, that whole group, 4 people or 5 people should not be going behind everything. So you need to segregate or separate the tasks, assign the task for each individual, right? So what is the logical splitting that we can do for this EVP task? So that is a splitting that we have done, what you see on the screen. So in any business, the first challenge or the biggest thing is that acquiring the customers, which is like the marketing activity. How do you acquire the customers? So for example, in this breakfast delivery idea or in that EVP program, what people came up was that a plan of acquiring customers. Like they will start with this particular task of publicizing about this option in a newspaper as leaflet after targeting certain apartment complexes in Bangalore. So they first selected within Bangalore one particular small area where they have some 20 or 30 apartments, and said that in these 20 or 30 apartments they have targeted some 5,000 families. So to these 5,000 families they will send out flyers, they will target them, they will do some road shows. So they came up with these numbers to give the flyers, to conduct road show. What do you do in the road show? What do? Do you give free breakfast so that these people can try it out? So all those things came up there, and then they build a plan on how many customers can be acquired, what is the cost of acquiring customers, all these things. Another area is with, I'm again talking with respect to that breakfast delivery service. Another area is again, now you need to set up the kitchen, right? You need to have a kitchen, you need to have food being prepared. So how big the kitchen should be, doesn't what is the cost for that kitchen, how do you procure raw materials, what is the money that you'll have to put for raw materials. So all those things will come up in the operations. And supplier and vendor management. So from where will you buy this raw material? How do you deal with those guys? And financial planning at a high level. How much money are you ready to put in customer acquisitions? How much of inventory would you buy up? How much of raw material would you have to buy up in advance? Is it for 2 days, 3 days? Is it for 1 week? Is it for 2 weeks? All those things will come under this financial planning. So if it is a different idea, like you can come up with different ideas. Now what I have said is breakfast delivery, or you can, if you take a technology centric idea, say running a new service firm. Let's take an example. You're creating a new company, IT company like Infosys, but you're going to do something better than Infosys in the sense you are targeting cognitive. So cognitive or machine learning services through IT services, something like that. Then it's IT stuff. So you'll have to talk. One of you, four people will have to come up with the data for customer acquisition. They will have to identify who our customers are, how much money would be required to acquire these customers. It can be banks, telecom, it can be big business, or it can be small businesses, and the supplier and vendor management. So what all suppliers and vendors do you need for an IT company? You need to think about that. You need for an IT company, who will be a supplier and vendor? Who would be the supplier and vendor? I'll respond to this, Aditya. Just give me a moment. So who will be the supplier and vendor for an IT company? There will be people who sell computers because you need computers, right? And IT infrastructure setup. All these are the suppliers and vendors for an IT company. And then operations and technology management. So stuff like how many people, how many IT employees would you recruit? In which all technologies are you going to recruit these people? What is the recruitment cost for these people, and which city would you locate? Would you put your back office, the IT operations office in Bangalore, or would you go for a tier 2 or tier 3 city? So all these comes under the operations and technology management. So basically you'll have to segregate uh, uh, your structuring of the company. You'll have to segregate all these tasks, and each person will have to take up one of these tasks and complete that. And obviously you can uh, have group discussions. What I would suggest is that first you come up with the idea, and once you have the idea, discuss within the group. The whole group should agree for that one idea, and then split these 4 tasks and ask each individual to come up with further plan, and then do some brainstorming. Based on that, you will be able to come up with your presentation. Okay. So yeah, let me just go through this chat. Please mention the area we have to cover. So when you say, so Aditya, can you speak up? I didn't get that. Which area we need to cover? So are you saying that each individual? Okay. Okay, so that I cannot tell you. So basically what you have to do is that, say for example, you 4 guys uh, join one group. I mean, create one group, and among you 4 guys, you guys have to decide. Like one of you would decide that, okay, I will take financial planning. Another person will have to decide on supplier and vendor management. That's the way it works. So I cannot assign you different tasks, or I cannot create the groups. You yourself have to create the groups, and a minimum of 4 people are required for one group. And then among these group members, you guys will have to split these tasks. And if there are more number of people, then and if you feel that one particular area is big or heavy, then you can put more than one person, 2 or 3 people in one of these activities. Say in the breakfast delivery business, what we found that this operations was very huge. So we had 2 people in operations, so that they can list down the menu, and they can say that what should be the price of this menu, and they could correctly say that what would be the price of raw material. So all those things was pretty huge. So we put 2 people in that. So these are things that you guys have to discuss among yourself and decide. So is that clear, Aditya?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And once you separate these different tasks, you guys should be able to keep in mind the ultimate aim of this enterprise? What do you think is the ultimate aim of any enterprise? What is it? Ultimate goal. You can type in the chat. I guess it is already, it would have been already discussed in some other course.
What, sir?
Yeah, so basically the question is, why do you want to run an organization? What is the ultimate aim?
Excuse me, sir. Can you repeat? Your voice is like breaking.
Okay, so my question is like, what is the ultimate aim of running an organization? Why do you want to run an organization? Why? What should be the aim of that organization? What should it fulfill? Is it about serving the society, getting goodwill, making employees happy, making customers happy, or something else? Or is it the return of shareholder value? Right? So the reason of existence of any organization is to give shareholder value. Yeah. Why do you say it's customer satisfaction? Like you make the customer happy. Say for example, you take the example of Apple, where the customers are fiercely loyal to the company. They really like the products. So you can say that customer satisfaction is very high. Now, is that the ultimate?
Customer sat
Yeah.
No, sir. Customer satisfaction is part of the goal, but you can't satisfy the customer because customers will never be satisfied with your whatever you give. The customer will always want something more from you. You will never satisfy it, but at some point of at some peak you have to satisfy the customer. The basic need of the customer is fulfilled. If you are not able to fulfill the basic need of the customer, he will never come to you again.
Correct. So the
And
customer
to
satisfaction is very
fulfill
important. Yeah, go
the
on.
employee needs, yeah, the employees we are uh, company companies employee who are working with company are should be happy with the company's policies, and uh, they they feel motivated to work.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, so the points that you said is correct. That is customer satisfaction important so that the customer comes back to you again and again and are willing to pay for your services or products. So customer satisfaction is very important. And along with that, you have to make sure that you are able to uh, keep your employees happy, because at the end of the day, the customers are made happy by your employees. So you have to make sure that your employees are happy and satisfied too. Having said that, what would be the ultimate aim? What is the final goal of the organization? The final goal is not customer satisfaction or employee satisfaction. The final goal is the shareholder returns. Someone has put money in your business and they're expecting returns for that money. So ultimately you have to satisfy your customers. You have to make your delight your customers. It's not just satisfaction. The word is delight. You have to amaze him or delight your customers, and you have to make sure that your employees stay with you. Employees work for you and employees make the customers happy. Employees approach the customers with a smile. So you have to make sure all these things happen for what? To make sure that you are able to return value for your shareholders. Make sure that you are generating returns out of the capital allocated to you, right? So when you separate all these tasks and 4 people or 5 people are working on different tasks and coming back with ideas and building the strategy, what you guys have to keep in mind is that the ultimate aim is that you have to make money. You should not be in a situation where you make your customers happy, you make your employees happy, but you are in loss. Then there's no point in doing that, right? There's no point. You will have to shut down someday if you're making loss. Okay, so that was the point I had. Now, yeah. This is about how do you come up with your idea and how do you articulate it. This point is all about articulation of your idea. How do you convert your idea into plan? We will see more details in the next class, but these are certain questions that you have to find answer. So just after this course, this particular class, your entire class has to group together, separate into groups of 4 or 5, 6 people, and these groups have to sit together and discuss about the idea. When you discuss about idea, when each person puts forward an idea, these are the set of questions that your group has to find answers to. So when you talk about an idea, first thing you have to think is who are your target customers. Now your idea cannot be an out of the world thing that no one wants, right? When you talk about an idea, there should be some customers to it. It cannot be completely out of the world. You need to have an idea where you say that this particular idea, if implemented well, will serve this particular group of customers. It can be based on the age, it can be on geography, it can be the gender, or it can be the salary level, job, it can be anything. But you have to have a proper target customers. You need to say, these are my customers. Sometime back, I heard in a session, in a marketing session, one person was saying, a management guru was saying that the ideal marketing guy should be such that when he walks in the road, when he walks in the road, when people cross him, he should be able to understand whether that person on the opposite side, is he a probable customer or not. That's the level of control that you need. Just by looking at that guy, you should be able to tell that, would I be able to sell my product or service to him? Is he my customer? Is he going to be my customer? That's a question you need to ask. Just by looking at that guy, you need to say that. If you're not able to do it, you're a bad marketing guy. That was the point. So the point here is that you have to understand your customers. You have to position for that target customer. Second thing is, what is the problem you're solving? You need to be more elaborate on that. It cannot, only when you're able to understand the current pain of people going through, only then you'll be able to build that value. Or to put more emphasis on that, there are certain solutions which is very tough to build. But the disappointing thing is that once built, people do not see value in that. Okay, because of the simple reason that it is not solving any big pain for the user. So there is something called, in business terminology, when you go to product management, there are two things that we talk about. Are you building a painkiller or are you building a vitamin? That's a question people ask. That is, are you building a product which will resolve a pain for the customer, or are you building something which is good to have for the customer? You need to have a right idea of that. We are not saying that you should not do this or that, but the point is you need to know what is the problem you are solving. What is it? Now one question, what is the problem that Facebook solved? Did Facebook solve any problem as such? I guess you can take in two different ways. Like before Facebook came, there was no problem. No one complained that, I'm not able to reach out to, making easy to connect people. But before Facebook came, no one used to complain, right? If you want to reach out to people, you call them, you talk to them on phone, you email them. That's it. It was simple as that. Now when Facebook came, Orkut was there. Correct. That is correct, Aditya. Orkut was there. Orkut was not very popular like Facebook, so it covered only a niche number of people. Like people like me, I switched from Orkut to Facebook. But I know a lot of people who did not know Orkut itself. So whether it's Orkut or Facebook, they did not solve any problem. We did not face an issue. But they provided some solution which people started using and which people could not stop it. They were addicted to it. Then when you switch off your data, or Facebook is not available for an hour, then it becomes a huge pain, right? That's what it became to. So you'll have to be very clear about that. Are you solving any problem or not? Uh, in the business perspective, people always say that, okay, you have to develop painkillers. That is, people have some sort of pain and you develop a painkiller, it will sell like hot cakes. Having said that, even vitamins like Facebook also works sometimes. But you have to make sure that what you are solving. When you build a solution, you are always thinking about the way the solution is built, the way the idea is built. But at the end of the day, what is it solving the customer? What value does it add to the customer? If your service is not there, if your product is not there, how is customers dealing that? The customers are still leading a happy life. So before Facebook, people were still happy. But after Facebook, they started becoming more connected. It was more easy for them to connect. So you'll have to think through it. What is the problem you're solving? I wouldn't say there is any concrete way of approaching this. I mean, 10, 15 years back, people would always say, go behind painkillers. But today, no one says that. You can have a painkiller or you can have a vitamin, it's all up to you. But you need to know what you're solving. You need to say what is the pain that you're killing, or you need to say what are the added benefits that you're giving to the customer. You need to be very clear of that. The next thing, as you know, is the size of the opportunity. This was similar to what I said earlier about LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a network of professionals across the globe. It can be any professional anywhere in the world. Then why did not LinkedIn come up with another idea of niche network? Because the opportunity size is very less. When you talk about the entire professionals in the globe, it's like millions or billions of people. So when you connect all these millions and billions, the opportunity is very high. If you connect some 10 or 20 people and you create a social network of where only 20, 30 people are there, it's going to go down. I remember one social network which was created during the Facebook time. It was specifically for Catholic Christians. That is very hilarious. Like, I'm not making fun of any particular religious group or something, but it was like they created a group only for Catholic Christians. So it never took off, right? Because the opportunity is very less over there. Whatever you say, the numbers are going to be less. Now, when you have a social network, you have only one portion of the people, then it won't be a big hit. So the opportunities was very less. So you have to analyze the size of the opportunity. Then you'll have to say, oh, 1 second, I frequently miss the chat. Face mash, sorry Aditya, I could not get that. What was face mash? Was it some product sometime back prior to Facebook? Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I guess Zuckerberg only made that, right? I fairly remember that. Yeah, correct. Yeah, correct. So it all depends on that, the size of the opportunity. So as we said earlier, it should be investable business. So if it has to be investable business, the opportunity size has to be bigger. Now, next is, who are your competitors and what is your competitive advantage? Now you have to, yeah, correct. After that, he made Facebook, correct. So who are your competitors? Uh, so whenever you come up with an incremental idea, you obviously have a existing, yeah, FaceMash was the website, correct. Whenever you come up with an incremental idea that is improving something which is existing, you obviously have competition. So if you are coming up with a new social network, okay, with more features than Facebook and LinkedIn, obviously your competitors are Facebook and LinkedIn. So you're competing against them. Then you have to say, what is your competitive advantage? What do you have which Facebook or LinkedIn does not have, plus why they cannot build on and only you can build it. That is a competitive advantage. Now there are certain other ideas where it is completely disruptive ideas, where you say that it's completely new and you don't have competitors. But personally what I would say is that you cannot say that you don't have competition. You always are creating something and stealing customers from someone else. So you would be having some competitors, you have to list them. Okay. It can be in a different industry, but you need to think through it and list them. Then what you see is key bottlenecks to growth. Now you cannot just say that, okay, in quarter one I'll have 100 users and quarter two you'll have 10,000 users and then say million users. You cannot just say that. You need to list down what are the challenges that you are foreseeing when you go from 1,000 to 10,000 users. Would you be able to serve these users? If it is a completely technology based idea, yeah, scaling would be easier. But if it is a technology idea, on the other hand, you need to get all the technology resources, which is going to be a bottleneck. If it is a non-technology tech idea, like starting a breakfast delivery service, there will be bottlenecks, right? You cannot scale your kitchen at a very fast pace. You cannot go from 1 to 1000 1 to 1000 stores or restaurants in say 100 days. You cannot do that. So you'll have to list down the key bottlenecks to growth. What is your business model? This is very important, the business model. It is like you have to say from where you'll be getting money, from who you'll be charging. In simple businesses like food business, it is easier to build a model where you say that you will get raw materials at this cost, you'll process the raw materials to make it food at this cost, and then you sell it this particular price. Now when you calculate all these things, you'll be able to build a proper business model. But when you go for complex businesses like social network, how do you make money? You cannot make money from those people who are logging into your network, right? So over there, the business model is more complex. So you'll have to think about your business model. Would you be able to make money from your users, or would you be able to make money from other people? Then what would be your organization structure? So this is like, as we said earlier, those 4 points you'll have to discuss, go through that, and among those 4 points you'll be able to segregate tasks. Then finally, how you're going to fund this plan, at what intervals do you need money, and how will you utilize it. So this is very important. So this is the point I was saying earlier, that in that 18-month plan they came up with first 6 months their own money, and end of 6 months they would require some 80 lakhs, and later end of 12 months they would require some 1.5 crores, and then they had a plan how they will deploy this 80 lakhs and what are the returns they're getting from the 80 lakhs, and the 1.2 crore how they'll be allocating. So all these things, all these questions you'll have to ask yourself and build the plan. Then this is the schedule for the course. So today we have started the course. We have the next deadline that we have is by tomorrow. You guys should be finalizing the groups. So this course goes at a very fast pace and it's a packed course. It will be a little hectic than other courses. So you'll have to prepare for that. So the first thing is that you'll have to come up with the group. You can come up with some name and some idea, and you'll have to give a summary of the business idea and the roles by 28th, that is day after tomorrow. So by tomorrow you have to say that, okay, these people would be this particular group. I would say minimum of 4 people are required in a group, and day after tomorrow you have to say what is the business idea, and within the group who will do what. Like Mr. X will do the customer acquisition, Mr. Y would do this particular operations management. So that plan has to be there, and a summary of business idea. When you say summary, at least 1 or 2 sentences what this idea is about. Breakfast delivery, that's one business idea, that's it. You need not come up with all the details. No, Aditya, it's very difficult to do it alone. It's difficult. I mean, I would say it is almost impossible, because you will get different perspectives and you have to collect all this data. If you look at these deadlines, you have to finalize these idea and roles by 28, and then the business summary has to be reviewed in the next class. So in the next class, we will go into details of the planning, how to do the planning, what are the terms, and the first draft has to be there by 9th. So if you were to deliver the first draft by 9th, you will have to have support. Okay, and then the first draft will be reviewed on 12th March, and after that you'll have to give the final submission by 16th March, and on 18th March you have to do an individual submission. There's an individual submission of elevator pitch video. So I'll give the details of elevator pitch video in the next class. So what elevator pitch is, all those details I'll be giving, and you'll have to record an elevator pitch. Each individual will have to do that. It will be graded for each individual, whereas this final submission would be graded for the group. And in the final class, we will discuss these course submissions, and we will see who has done how. Okay. So any questions? Okay. So just go through this. We'll take a break, a small, very small break. And we'll get back at 3:20. 4 minutes break we'll take. And then after the break, what we will be discussing is what is a good idea. How do you come up with a good idea? And within half an hour, we should be able to wrap up. Okay. So I'll come back in 4 minutes. We'll meet at 3:20. Hello guys. Sorry, I got late by a minute. Yeah, guys, the hello. Yeah. So shall we start? I'm back. So, uh, Aditya, can you confirm? Have you reached back? Are you still connected? Yeah. Okay. So so the next question is or the next topic is what is a good idea? So another question that I have in my mind is there anything called a bad idea? Can we say any idea is bad? Have you ever heard that? Does anyone say that? Yeah, right. So yeah, you can have a different take on that. So do we have a bad idea or a good idea? So basically, we usually say that ideas are always great. There is nothing called a bad idea. But the context that we have to think about is that this one particular point, investable venture. You are starting something where people should be enticed, or people should want to put money. You see all these IPOs happening, and when one big bang IPO comes, a lot of people uh, make a beeline. You might have heard about these phrases like it was oversubscribed by 5 times, 10 times. What it means is that it's a very good idea and very good execution, right? Not all companies would get this 5 times subscription and all. So that is the point. We need to come up with an idea and prepare a plan for a investable venture. It should make profit, yes. It should be highly profitable. The point about profit is that the customer should be able to shell out a bigger amount of money to you rather than to your customers, right? So if you look at the cars like Audi, BMW, Mercedes, they're great cars and people are ready to shell out big money for that, 50 lakhs, 80 lakhs, 1 crore, they're ready to give that money. Even though they know that these guys are making a fat profit margin out of that. Okay, so that is the point. You have to come up with idea uh, which can be executed in a big way, and there is a big opportunity. So what is the first important thing for an idea? First important parameter that you need to going to IPO is good. IPO is a way for the early investors to exit, and it is also an opportunity for the founders to tap a bigger market for equity. So that's how I would say. So you have to go to IPO in the right context, at the right point of maturity of the company. You have to be matured enough to go to IPO. You need to have you need to achieve a certain level of stability and maturity to go for IPO. Otherwise it doesn't make sense. Okay. So yeah, coming back to our idea, what is a good idea? When you talk about getting funded, yeah, it depends. Okay, at a stage where you have an idea and you have a prototype, there's no point in going to an IPO, because IPO, that market is huge. That market consists of people of like bankers and analysts who would analyze the business end to end, then put money. The risk is much lesser there. They won't put money into ideas. You cannot take an idea and go to an IPO. You cannot take a prototype and go to an IPO. You need to have a business model which has been running for the past, say, 3 years. In India, there is a rule for the past 3 years you have to make profit. Only then you can go for an IPO. Otherwise, you won't be uh, qualified for going for IPO, because it's the general public that you are approaching. People who are not aware of how this business is run. But these angel investors and VCs are not like that. Those details we'll see tomorrow anyway. The different kind of investors. and what is the characteristic of each investor. At what point of time of your business evolution do you go to which of this kind of investor? That we'll anyway discuss in the next class. So coming back to our point, what is the first thing that you have to think about? Sorry. Yeah, what is the first thing that you have to think about? The differentiation. How do you differentiate that? So the first thing, I mean, it's very difficult to come up with an idea which is completely new. Something that Facebook or Google has done. Those kind of ideas do not happen very often. In lot of times what happens is that you come up with an existing idea in a different way. That's what happens. So what do you do over there? How do you differentiate? What do you mean by differentiating? Can you give some example on differentiating? So one point I was saying earlier was that if you say, for example, you're coming up with a new chain of restaurants, like similar to what McDonald's and KFC has done, you're going to create that. But how do you differentiate? You are not, you're actually not satisfied, or you connect with those customers who are not at all satisfied with the existing food chains. They feel that this food is not good for kids, for children. This food has got health issues over a period of 10 or 20 years eating regularly. So all these things, because of all these things, you come up with an idea of healthy foods, maybe organic foods, which you are giving through a consistent experience, because that is what McDonald's is known for. You eat one particular flavor of burger from McDonald's from one particular outlet, you get the same experience, you get the same burger across the world. Wherever you go, the flavor of the burger, the softness or that texture of the bun in the burger, the ingredients that they use, the flavor that they use, everything will be consistent in any outlet of McDonald's. That is what their key is. That's their USP. So they have consistency, and because of the consistency, people are going there. But you feel that they're not doing enough for their customers by giving healthy options. So what you are doing is that you are riding on top of the existing idea of consistent food at affordable price. On top of that, you are differentiating, saying that I'm similar to McDonald's in all ways, but you see, my food is much healthier than McD's. My food is much more healthier than KFC's. You can have my food daily for 20 years and you don't have any health issues. That's the kind of food that I have. That's the differentiation you bring. So that is the point on how you satisfy the need, the features of the business model. See what I'm getting? So basically you are talking about the same idea, but you are satisfying it in a different way. You are riding on top of an existing stuff, but differentiating it into a small degree. So that differentiation makes sure that people notice your idea, people notice your product or service. So another example would be there are competitors for WhatsApp, like Hike Messenger is one competitor. Then you have WeChat. So all these guys are into mobile-to-mobile messaging services. So using WhatsApp, using Hike Messenger, using WeChat, you can communicate with your friends. Or rather, to be more technical, you can communicate with other mobile users. That's what all these three guys do. But they differentiate. Hike differentiates from WhatsApp with respect to a lot of other features. Hike has got a lot of features which WhatsApp doesn't have. So Hike does not copy WhatsApp as it is. Instead, they go an extra mile, and what they do is that they have added more features. They say that you can transfer files in bigger size, and they came up with some innovative features like without mobile data usage, you can connect to your friends. So a lot of features they've brought in so that they can differentiate from the existing leading player, that is WhatsApp. And WeChat too in China. WeChat I think is popular in China. They've got a completely different model wherein uh, you can use WeChat to book taxi, you can use WeChat to uh, book a table in restaurant or order food to your home. So it has got a lot of e-commerce options in WeChat. So these are the ways that you differentiate with existing ideas. So you can think about existing ideas and see how you can differentiate that. How you satisfy the need is one of those options. Another option is the segmentation. That is, whose needs do you satisfy? Now, one example here would be earlier you had matrimony websites. You had, I think, Shadi.com, BharatMatrimony.com. So those were leading websites for matrimony in India. Then you got new businesses coming in saying that they target only for rich people. Rich people on matrimony website for rich people and celebrities. Some elitematrimony.com. Then again you got some other websites which are focused on certain groups of people, certain minorities. So what they do is that they are saying they are differentiating. So this elite matrimony guys are differentiating from Shadi.com, saying that Shadi.com is for everyone. Anyone can be there. But elite matrimony, it's only for the rich and uber, high class people. So that's the differentiation that they are bringing. So they provide the same service, everything is same, but the target customers are different. And since the target customer is different, your delivery of service will be different. So in Shadi.com, you won't be having all options. You won't be having a personal counselor. You won't be having people coming to your home and understanding how you are and finding a suitable match for your son or daughter. But whereas in elitematrimony.com, they'll send a team to your house. They'll go through your credentials, make sure that you are certainly a rich, powerful guy, and then they might show you some hi-fi profiles. So you get more personalized delivery over there. So that is another way of segmentation. I mean, another way of differentiation. Swiggy, I didn't get you, Aditya. In what context is that? Okay, so actually this is something that I was very interested to understand from you guys also. Like we have Swiggy, and before Swiggy we had Food Panda, and I think Zomato is still going on. What is the difference between Swiggy and Food Panda? Is there any major differentiation like this? Did they do any differentiation, or is it just copy paste models? What is your take on that? Because I think both Swiggy and Food Panda were following the same approach. The only clue that I got is that Swiggy has yeah, but they deliver from nearby restaurant like Pizza Hut. Okay, okay, but I think Food Panda was also delivering from uh, all these places, right? Oh, okay, okay, yeah. So that's the differentiation, correct. So you guys are going in the right direction. So that's the way you differentiate. It's like at the end of the day, you get food from a hotel nearby. That's it. Whether it's Food Panda or Swiggy, but Swiggy was able to differentiate that. Yeah, Swiggy was able to differentiate that by giving you more options. Like instead of just being an aggregator of restaurants, they were showing you different dishes from the restaurant, and they had their own packaging. Is what you're saying. So I think Swiggy is doing more of a ownership. They are not just an aggregator, but they are going an extra mile and making sure that the customer gets what they really want, right? Am I right? Okay. So yeah, that's one way of, that is actually the features or business model, how you satisfy the need. So at the end of the day, you just not want good food, that's it, from a restaurant. End of the day, you wanted food to be delivered to your home from a restaurant. But Swiggy did it in a slightly different way from Food Panda. So that was the way they differentiated. And I guess the customers started liking it, and that's the reason Swiggy is becoming popular these days. And the third one is, what do you tell them about how you're going to satisfy their needs? Now this is very, okay, sometimes restaurants don't have home delivery. That's where Swiggy comes in. Yeah, correct. Yeah, now to this point, what do you tell them about how you're going to satisfy their needs? Now this is very important in business, the positioning. You know, there is a, business runs on perceptions. So what do you mean by perception? It's like people have a idea, a preconceived notion of what value businesses deliver. So let me just think about this perception. So when you talk about a Maruti car and a Hyundai car, if you compare Maruti and Hyundai, technically if you talk to a mechanical engineer and evaluate these two cars as just machines, you won't actually feel much difference. You know, both has got, I mean, we are not comparing Maruti with Mercedes. Then yes, at the engineering level, there are huge number of differences. Maruti engine and a Mercedes engine, the cars are completely different. It's not comparable. But if you compare a Maruti and a Hyundai, the cars are almost the same. You know, the type of engine that they have, the type of chassis they build, it's almost similar. In certain points, Maruti scores. In certain points, yeah, Hyundai scores. That's how it is. But if you look at the perception, you know, that is very important. If you look at the way they are positioned, there are a lot of differences. Maruti, if you look at the ads and all the marketing that Maruti does, it's all about, you know, fuel economy. That is one important thing. Fuel economy and service maintenance. In every ad, which you, if you notice the ads in the first part of 2000 to 2010, till 2010 or 12, they explicitly focused a lot on the fuel economy, the efficiency. They will say that you're getting 25 kmpl, you're getting 27 kmpl. And they emphasize that. It's not just that they say that as a footnote or something. That's a main thing. That's a main reason. And then you got this huge network of service across India. There was an ad I remember about a Maruti car where I think you might have seen that. Two guys driving a gypsy Maruti car in some remote hill station. They asked for whether a restaurant is there, whether a fuel station is there, nothing is there. And at the end they simply ask, you know, they skeptically ask whether there is a Maruti service center. And to their surprise, yes, there is a service center. Even though there is no restaurant, there is no fuel station. They have a service center. So that is the perception created by Maruti. Good service and good mileage. They never talk about their car being very comfortable, very safe. They don't do much of that advertisement. But whereas if you look at Hyundai, it states more of a lifestyle automobile. So they used celebrities for endorsing, and they have more, more kind of glamorous launch events. Those are things that Hyundai did. If you remember the launch of Hyundai Gets like 10, 12 years back, they launched the car as though they were launching some movie. You know, that's the difference that they do. So they always try to make sure that to create a perception that Hyundai cars are more expensive and more premium than Maruti. They never said that okay, our car has got good mileage. They never said that we do have a great service network. Even though they have average mileage and good service network. They did not highlight that. They always said that we are better than Maruti. We are more premium. Our cars are more build quality. All those stuff they highlighted. So basically, even though it's a similar product, they positioned or they created the perception, intentionally in a different way, so that you can market it well. Positioning is very important. So when you think about this idea and you are thinking about how to differentiate, then positioning is one more thing that you can think about. Yeah, features in cars. Yeah, their approach to customer is different. Correct. That's true, Aditya. They're in a different way. So all these are not in this. We should not think in the way that it just happens like that. That's not the way. It is designed in that way. Hyundai has designed their customer experience in one particular way, and Maruti has designed it in another way. So it's by design, and that design is uh, dictated by the positioning. So where you have positioned yourself. But nowadays, Maruti and Hyundai are, all these things matters when you enter a market. Over a period of years, sometimes this positioning gets mixed up. Right now, if you see new Maruti cars, they have launched something called Nexa, which is a premium stuff, and they are going to the premium level. So they are trying to change their perception, and they're trying to target different set of people. So you end up changing your positioning also. You end up changing your perception for your strategy. Okay. Next is what do you charge them? How do you charge them? That's the revenue model. Say if you're thinking about car manufacturing, all you're going to just take a hypothetical example of you're going to create a new car company and you're going to directly compete with Maruti. It's exactly the same, the Maruti car you're producing. But instead of selling these cars, you say that you rent these cars. Then that's a different revenue model. So you say that if you want to own a Maruti Swift, you have to pay 8 lakhs. But we have launched a new car which is completely equivalent to Swift, and you don't pay 8 lakhs, you pay only 80,000. That's a new revenue model. And then you say that after 6 months you have to subscribe, something like that. So it's a revenue model. I think the best example would be Microsoft Office versus Google Docs. Now the functionality that you get from Microsoft Office, Outlook, compared to Google Docs is completely the same. But how you charge is completely different. You need to buy Microsoft Office upfront and install in your software. That's the way you use it. But for Google Docs, everything is online and you pay as you go. So these are the ways in which you can differentiate. So the point over there is it will be very difficult to come up with a completely new idea. So work on an existing idea which is there out there in the business and see how you can differentiate that. You can differentiate that by how you satisfy the need, that is the features and all. Second, you can differentiate based on segmentation, whom you are targeting. One second. You're not able to see my screen, Aditya? Right now I'm sharing the screen. Yeah.
Now, sir, you are visible. Again, sir, it's not visible. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fine now.
I actually stopped and started once more to make sure that it is sharing. Okay. Yeah, so what I was saying is that based on the features you can differentiate, you can have different kind of features, or you can differentiate based on the uh, segmentation. There is different segments of people you can satisfy. Whose needs are you satisfying? Then you can also satisfy based on the positioning, whether you are high end or you are low end, the same product. You might be having the same product, but you are delivering it in a different way. So that's the way you have a different positioning. Or it can be like that, you have a completely different revenue model. The way you charge the customer. Instead of one-time fee, you might be charging pay as you go. Or instead of charging the users directly, you might be charging the advertisers. Those are the different ways. Again, one more example on this revenue model is the new TV channels that are getting launched in India. If you see, there are new English movie channels which are getting launched. The same movie channels like Star Movies is launching Star Movies Select. Now, in this new channel, there are no advertisement. It is completely paid. So they understood that there is a big market over there, people who are willing to watch English movie channels by paying some extra amount, but they don't want to see a lot of advertisements. So over there, what you're doing is you're tweaking the revenue model. At the end of the day, the movies that you broadcast are the same. Even both will be HD, both will be same clarity. But in one channel, you put a lot of advertisement and you give it for free. And in the other channel, you don't put
And
any
sir,
advertisement and you have to charge the customer. Yeah, Aditya.
and sir, they are also in HD. HD also, sir.
Yeah, correct. They give different options. One HD option with advertisement, without advertisement, they'll come up with different options. All these options will be dictated by the kind of market they are approaching. So 10, 20 years back when Star Movies first launched, they understood that there won't be anyone who will pay for watching movies. That's the reason they stuffed all the advertisement and made money in that way. Now they are understanding that there is a market of people who are willing to pay money to watch movies. Okay. Yeah, so these are some more points, but one important thing here is eliminate non-significant differentiators. This is very important. We were talking about say Shadi.com and EliteMatrimony.com. Now the people who started EliteMatrimony.com, I mean, you cannot just attack Shadi.com saying that we are going to provide a mobile app. Now, is that going to be a big differentiator? Because Shadi.com also can launch a mobile app any time. Just give them 6 months, they can launch a mobile app too. So that's not a proper differentiation, right? Just because you have a mobile app doesn't mean that you are differentiating with the competitor. So you have to come up with those differentiators which are actually significant. Now, second point is the viability or the practicality. So the idea should not be absurd or impossible, right? So it should not sound as though it is very absurd. One idea that we can talk about is the science fiction stuff that we have heard about, like teleportation. Transferring people from one point to the other at a very high speed. Teleportation. That's a sci-fi concept. We don't know how to do it. No one knows how to do it. It has not been proven that we can do teleportation. So if you talk about such ideas like transferring a person from India to US in a minute, that is going to be absurd. No one is going to believe you because it has not been done. So you cannot have such ideas. So over here, we have separated startups like three kinds of startups. That is startups which sell a product or service for money. Second, aggregate a community of people. And third is making really innovative technology. So any startup that you think about, you can more or less fit into any of these three categories. So let's just try with some examples. The second option, aggregate a community of people. These are very, common. One example would be TripAdvisor. What is happening? You guys are familiar with TripAdvisor, the website. It's a review site. So it's a review site.
No, sir.
Okay. TripAdvisor is a review site. You can log on to it. Okay. Let me share my. You're able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is a website. It's a simple site. You can find hotels and all here, and you can see the review of these hotels. Okay. So just uh, uh, you can go to this particular site and you can check out all these hotels. All the reviews are there. Uh, People have put their comments on how this hotel is about, like that. Now the point here is that this business works because they've got a lot of reviews. It's a community site, right? Uh, the strength of this site is not actually or directly related to the technology here or the content generated by the website as such, but it is the community content. People log into this site and write reviews. Okay, just because they write lot of reviews, other people come and check out the reviews and see. When I'm going to a particular hill station, if I'm going to have a vacation planned in Shimla and Manali, I come to this website and see which are the best hotels, best restaurants in Shimla and Manali, and I'll get a huge number of reviews. I can go through it. That's the way they get visitors. So basically what this website is doing is that they are aggregating a community of people, and from there they're making money. Okay. So as long as that community is there, they can make money. So that is the kind of startup they have built. So the question of viability is that the question over here would have been, will people come and post their reviews? That is a question. And if they are posting the reviews, what is the benefit that they get? What is the uh, incentive that they get for posting reviews here? So these are the viability questions that you need to ask, and I'm sure that these are questions people might have asked the founders of TripAdvisor when they started this. So that is one kind of website. Another one is Wikipedia. So that's another community. In the sense, Wikipedia is not the content is not centralized generated. Instead, people, the internet users log in the content. So people in different areas of expertise put their content. So it's completely distributed. So these are the examples of the second one, aggregate a community of people. Then first one, what is it? Sell a product or service for money. This is the example that we have told about Google Docs, wherein you get all the all the software similar to Microsoft Office, all the Word document, Excel, all the software you get from Google, and you pay for that. So basically you are paying for their service. Or it can be websites like Amazon, Flipkart, where you buy products. Okay, so that is another kind of startup. And then there's a third option of making really innovative technology. Something like what one example would be the Fitbit. Fitbit uh, is a wristband that you tie on your wrist, and it will measure your heartbeat, it will measure all your health parameters, and when you do exercises it will measure the calorie being burned, and if you have any health issues, it will, like you have a heart attack, it will alert your immediate friends through mobile app. So it has got all these hi-fi features. So all the startups that you see would belong to either of these three areas. And the point of viability depends on which area you belong to. So if it is a Fitbit, if it is making really innovative technology, the question over this, does this technology exist? Do we have a technology of measuring heartbeat, heartbeat by tying this wristband? From the wristband, would you be able to measure heartbeat, measure your pulse, understand the calories that you burn? Do you have any mechanism of that? If not, then it is not viable. It is not practical. So the example I said, the teleportation would belong to the third group. It's a really innovative stuff, but there is no technology. It's only an idea. It's there in theory, but no one has even attempted to do it. So it's not practical. So you have to think about the viability or the practicality of the idea. Okay, the third point is more related to the first one itself, the innovation. So basically, how do you make it, how do you differentiate it? So you have to have some feature. This is closely linked to the first point here, that is how you satisfy the need. So you might have to innovate on coming up with features which is not there in the existing system. Okay, so some innovative way of doing things in a different way. So you have to think about that when you are coming up with this idea. So those are the things that we have to go through about the idea. So now is it, are you guys little confused, or is everything clear? Would you guys be able to start off with this info? So I don't expect you guys to, come up with a plan right now. What you have to do right now is first finalize on the groups. I would say the team members are the most important thing. So I guess you are a class of maybe 50 or 60 people. You would have interacted with each other. You would have done some group assignments together. So catch up with your friends, talk to them, and create the group first. First of all, that's what you have to do. Once you create the group, maybe 4 people or 5 people, come together, get on a conference call through phone, or if you can meet in person, then nothing like that. Talk to each other and come up with some idea. So just brainstorm on ideas. I am sure that most of you would have thought about some idea in your life at some point of time. Just bring out all this idea, just brainstorm. Don't think about how you will do it, just bring about the idea. I believe that you have to have fun when you're doing things, right? So don't think too much about the grades, about whether you'll be able to execute it, whether you'll be able to make money out of it, whether people will make fun of the idea. Those things happen. But brainstorm it, get a lot of ideas, not just one, okay? Don't do the mistake of just coming up with one idea within the group. What I'm saying is that if you have 5 people, each one come with 1 or 2 ideas. So you'll be having 5 or 10 ideas. And then brainstorm. Then once you have some 10 ideas, then you apply all this principle. Ask for yourself, is this idea innovative? Has anyone else already done this idea? Is it an existing stuff? If it is an existing stuff, how you are going to differentiate it? Would you be able to differentiate it by giving some new features to it? Is it a significant differentiation? Would this feature, with this feature, can you say that you are different? Or would your competitor copy that particular feature easily? Or can we create a differentiation by targeting a particular segment which has been left out by your competitor? Or should you do something completely new, innovative? One important point over there is you do things very innovative when there is a upcoming trend or wave. When you say upcoming trend or wave, it is like 2 years back we had a upcoming trend or a wave which is called the mobile boom. A lot of people were getting connected from mobile. A lot of people were using internet. More people were using started using internet from mobile.
Hello.
Yeah, Aditya.
Sir, hello.
Yeah, go on.
Sir, I didn't get what you said. Your voice was on. I was not able to hear you. It was blank.
Okay. Till what point you heard?
Hello. The point where the left out, the other people left out. The plan you are making, what are the difference, and what if you are doing the same thing, and in which that what are the things that other the person who made it is left it for other people.
Yeah, okay.
Some classifications.
Yeah, so the point I was saying is that there would be some ideas which are existing. Even if it is an existing idea, you can differentiate that based on the features. And are those features that you are coming up with valid ones? Are those significant? Would they really matter to your customers? and would your competitor be able to build those features fast, then there's no point in saying that it's a differentiator. Like that, you can come up with other differentiators. And one final point, what I was saying is that you can also ride on a wave. That is some upcoming technological trend or disruption which is happening. If you are monitoring that, you can ride on top of that. So one example is the mobile penetration. So 2 years back, we found that more people are getting connected to internet from mobile rather than laptop, rather than computers. So that's when we got all this huge surge on mobile app development. Okay, so a lot of people jumped into it. A lot of people started connecting the dots and building businesses based on mobile apps. Okay, and even the innovations that happened with Google and Facebook, they rode on a wave of internet. Basically, internet was not there in the 90s. Even though it was there, it was used only by a certain limited group of people. By late 90s and early 2000, a lot of people started using internet, and the first challenge that they faced is that they could not search things properly in internet. That's when Google came. So there was a wave on which Google rode. So there was a wave where internet was growing a lot. A lot of people were logging into internet and using internet for different purposes. So Google rode that wave. Next came Facebook. People started logging into internet, people started Googling, searching stuff, doing things, but they were not connected. So Google rode that wave. Then we have the next wave of mobile communication in 2013 and 14, and some companies like WhatsApp got benefited by that wave and got acquired by a huge amount. And there are a lot of other companies which worked on that wave. So what I'm saying is that you can identify such technological disruptions or trends and try to ride that wave. Okay, so it all depends on you. One final comment I would say is that the idea and the organization that you build is a extension of your personality and character. So it doesn't matter what others are doing and seeing. What matters is what do you think. It's your character and personality which gets extrapolated to your organization. So whether you create a Facebook or Google kind of organization, or you create a smaller, more local organization like maybe Flipkart or Practo, these are other examples. So it all depends on you, on what problem you want to solve. Okay, so on that note, we will close here. So please adhere to these timelines. I'll just post it once more. These are the timelines. So the next immediate thing that you have to do is finalize the groups and post it on the discussion forum for this course. After that, post in summary of business idea. I just want 1 or 2 lines. If you can give a paragraph, then that's the best. But at least one line, what your business idea is. And then we will have a review of that business summary in the next class. And doing the review of the business summary, we will also have an in-depth session on different technical aspects of preparing a plan. You will come across what all kind of investments are there, what is unit economics, what are financials you'll be measuring. Okay, so that's it for now. Any questions? Okay guys, then I'm stopping this recording.